There's one thing that separates the people who win from the people who don't. One thing that determines whether you stay stuck where you are or break through every limitation. One thing that, if mastered, can change your entire life. And it's not luck. It's not talent. It's not some secret formula that only the ultra successful have access to. It's your daily habits. Because let me tell you something. Your life is not shaped by what you do once in a while, and it's shaped by what you do every single day. The tiny choices, the seemingly insignificant routines, the moments when no one is watching. That's where your future is built. Most people wake up and go through the motions. They hit the snooze button, scroll through their phone, rush through their morning, and react to whatever the day throws at them. They let their habits, and then they wonder why nothing changes. But the people who win at life, they have a different approach. They understand that small actions, repeated over time, create unstoppable momentum. They don't wait for motivation. They don't rely on willpower. They create systems, rituals that make success automatic. Because motivation fades, willpower runs out, but habits stick. You want to be successful? Don't focus on the big goals. Focus on the small daily disciplines that will take you there. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your habits. You want to be in shape? Train your body every day. You want financial freedom? Train your mind every day. You want to be unstoppable? Train your discipline every day. It's not about doing 100 things. It's about doing a few things right every single day until they become second nature, until they become who you are. And here's the truth. In the beginning, it's going to be hard. Changing habits is not easy. Your brain will resist. Your body will fight it. You will feel like quitting. That's the test. Because once you push past that resistance, something incredible happens. The hard things become easy. The things that used to take effort become effortless. And that's when you unlock a level of power most people will never experience. So ask yourself, what are your habits shaping you into? Who are you becoming through your daily routines? If you don't like the answer, change the habit. Change it today. Because your future self is watching. Your future self is counting on you. And if you commit to winning the day every day, then nothing can stop you. There was a man who wanted to change his life. He was tired of being stuck in the same routine, living paycheck to paycheck, feeling like every day was just a repeat of the last. He watched successful people, read books, listened to all the advice out there, but nothing seemed to work. Until one day someone told him something that changed everything. Show me your daily habits and I'll show you your future. At first he didn't understand. He thought success was about big moments, huge breakthroughs, life-changing opportunities, that one lucky break. But then he looked closer. He studied the people who had made it, the ones who went from nothing to something, the ones who built unstoppable momentum. And he realized they all had one thing in common. It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It was what they did every single day. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up and do the same thing they've always done without thinking. They check their phone first thing in the morning, rush through breakfast, complain about their job, scroll through social media, watch a little TV, and go to bed exhausted, only to do it all over again the next day. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But the people who break through, they take control of their habits. They understand that every choice they make, no matter how small, is shaping their future. They don't wait for success to magically appear. They create it, one habit at a time. Think about it. No one becomes fit overnight. No one wakes up one day with millions in the bank. No one suddenly transforms into the best version of themselves. It's the result of consistent action, showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one is watching. Success is a daily battle, and your habits are the weapons you bring to that battle. Take two people. One wakes up and starts his day with a purpose. He exercises, feeds his mind with powerful knowledge, works on his goals, and makes smart choices. The other person wakes up, hits the snooze button a few times, drags himself out of bed, wastes time on distractions, and reacts to whatever the day throws at him. At first, the difference is small. After a week, you won't notice much. After a month, maybe a little. But after a year, 2 years, 5 years, the gap between these two people is massive. One is on top of his game, living the life he always dreamed of. The other is stuck, frustrated, wondering why success never came his way. It all started with the habits they chose. Because here's the truth. Your habits are either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. They are either working for you or against you, pulling you toward the life you want or keeping you trapped exactly where you are. Look at your life right now. Your health, your wealth, your relationships, your mindset. Everything is a reflection of the habits you've built over time. If you're not where you want to be, don't blame the world. Don't blame your past. Don't blame circumstances. Look at what you do every day, because your habits tell the truth about your future. If you spend your time learning, growing, and taking action, success is inevitable. If you spend your time procrastinating, making excuses, and waiting for the right time, failure is just as inevitable. And here's the crazy part. Changing your life doesn't require some massive overhaul. You don't need to flip your entire world upside down. You just need to start with one habit, one small change, one simple action repeated every single day. Because the power isn't in the big, dramatic transformations. The power is in the small, consistent wins that compound over time. The man who once felt stuck, he started small. He replaced one bad habit with a good one. He swapped 30 minutes of TV for 30 minutes of reading. He stopped hitting snooze and started his mornings with purpose. He focused on progress, not perfection. And over time, those tiny changes built unstoppable momentum. Years later, when people asked him how he became successful, they expected some big secret. But his answer was simple. I built the right habits. And then my habits built me. That's the key, because in the end, you don't decide your future. You decide your habits. And habits decide everything. There's a story about a man who wanted to change his life. He was frustrated, stuck in the same place year after year, watching others succeed while he remained the same. He dreamed of success, of financial freedom, of becoming the best version of himself, but every time he tried to make a change, he got overwhelmed. He thought he had to do something huge, something drastic, something extraordinary to turn his life around. And that's where he got it wrong. The truth is, massive success doesn't come from massive actions. It comes from small, consistent improvements made every single day. It comes from the little things. Things so small they seem almost insignificant in the moment. But over time, those tiny actions build up. They compound. They turn into unstoppable momentum. Most people underestimate the power of small actions. They think if it's not a huge leap, it's not worth doing. But that's why most people stay stuck, because change doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the daily choices, in the things no one else sees, in the moments when there's no applause, no recognition, just you putting in the work. Imagine this. Two people start at the same place in life. One decides to make a 1% improvement every day. The other makes no changes at all. At first, there's no noticeable difference. A week goes by, a month, maybe even a year, and they still seem pretty similar, but then something shifts. The one who made tiny, consistent improvements starts to pull ahead. He's getting better, faster, stronger, and before long, the gap between them is undeniable. And then one day, the world looks at him and says, wow, he came out of nowhere. But he didn't. He was building himself, one small action at a time, while no one was watching. The problem with most people is they want instant results. They go to the gym once and expect a six-pack. They read one book and expect to be a millionaire. They work hard for a week and wonder why they're not successful yet. And when they don't see immediate results, they quit, they give up. They convince themselves it wasn't meant for them. But the winners, they understand the game. They know that the results don't show up right away. They know success is like planting a seed. You water it every day, even when you don't see anything happening, because you trust that beneath the surface, growth is taking place. Small actions, repeated over time, create unstoppable transformation. Think about the compound effect. If you improve by just 1% every day, by the end of the year, you're not just a little better, you're 37 times better than when you started. That's the power of consistency. That's the secret to achieving anything you want in life. You don't have to be the best today, you just have to be better than yesterday. You want to be in the best shape of your life? Start by doing 5 push-ups a day. You want to be financially free? Start by saving a few dollars a day. You want to be the best in your field? Start by learning something new every day. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing something every day. Look around you. Every successful person, every champion, every leader you admire, none of them got there overnight. They built themselves with small, consistent actions stacked on top of each other until success became inevitable. And the best part, this power is in your hands too, right now. No matter where you are, no matter what your past looks like, no matter how many times you've failed before, because success isn't about taking one giant leap. It's about taking small, steady steps every single day. And if you commit to that, if you commit to improving just a little bit every day, there is nothing that can stop you. There was once a man who wanted success more than anything. He worked hard, put in the hours, tried everything he could, but no matter what he did, he always seemed to fall short. It was as if something invisible was holding him back. He saw others rise, people with less talent, less intelligence, less experience, yet somehow they were getting ahead while he stayed stuck. Frustrated, he sought out a mentor, someone who had achieved the kind of success he dreamed of. He explained his struggle, all the things he had tried, all the obstacles in his way. The mentor listened carefully and then asked him one simple question. What do you believe about yourself? At first, the man didn't understand. What did his beliefs have to do with his success? But the mentor smiled and said, your life is just a reflection of your mindset. You don't become successful first and then start thinking like a winner. You start thinking like a winner first, and success follows. Your mind is the thermostat for your life. If you don't rewire it for success, you'll keep falling back to the level you believe you belong. And that's when it hit him. He had been working hard, but deep down, he still saw himself as someone who struggled, someone who wasn't lucky, someone who was destined for average results. And because that was his identity, his habits reflected it. His actions, his choices, even the way he reacted to failure, it all came from his subconscious belief about who he was. That's how powerful the mind is. Most people try to change their lives by changing their actions. They force themselves to wake up early, to work harder, to push through. But if deep down they still believe they are lazy, unsuccessful, or undeserving, they will always sabotage themselves, because the mind will always pull you back to what you believe is true about yourself. The secret to lasting change isn't in forcing new habits. It's in shifting your identity. Think about it. If someone believes they're a smoker, they might try to quit, but eventually they'll go back because they still see themselves as a smoker. But if they start to see themselves as a healthy, disciplined person, quitting becomes natural. The habit follows the identity. If you believe you're someone who struggles with money, you might make some for a while, but you'll always find a way to lose it. But if you believe you're someone who attracts wealth, you'll start making decisions that align with that identity. If you believe you're not disciplined, you'll keep proving yourself right by procrastinating and making excuses. But if you start believing you are a disciplined person, your habits will shift without force. Your mind is like a garden. If you keep planting seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, that's exactly what will grow. But if you start planting seeds of confidence, resilience, and abundance, your life will begin to reflect those beliefs. The most successful people in the world don't just do things differently. They think differently. They see obstacles as opportunities. They believe success is inevitable. They expect to win, so they take action in a way that guarantees it. And here's the best part. You don't have to be born with this mindset. You can rewire your brain at any moment, right now. Start by catching the thoughts that hold you back. The ones that tell you you're not good enough, that you always struggle, that success is for other people. Challenge them, replace them. Speak new truths into existence. Instead of, I always fail, tell yourself, I learn and grow from every experience. Instead of, I'm not disciplined, say, I follow through on my commitments. Instead of, success is hard, declare, success is my natural state. At first, it might feel like you're lying to yourself, but that's only because your mind is used to the old program. Keep feeding it new beliefs, and soon it will start running on a new system. And once your mind is rewired for success, your habits will naturally follow. You won't have to force discipline. It will be who you are. You won't have to chase success. It will be the only path you see. You won't have to fight your old habits because they will no longer define you. Rewire your mind and your life will transform. Not because you're trying harder, but because you're finally operating at the level you were meant to be. There was a time when a young man thought freedom meant doing whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. No schedules, no discipline, no rules. Just living in the moment, enjoying life without structure. He believed that discipline was a prison, something that took away enjoyment, something that restricted life rather than enhanced it. But as the years passed, he started to notice something. The very people who had no discipline, who lived with no structure, were the ones who struggled the most. They were always stressed about money, always running late, always playing catch up, always stuck in the same place year after year. They weren't free at all. And then he looked at the people who were winning, the ones who seemed to have it all. They had time, wealth, health, and control over their lives. They traveled when they wanted. They worked on things they loved. They enjoyed life on their terms. And what did they all have in common? Discipline. That's when it hit him. Discipline isn't a prison. Discipline is the key to freedom. The more control you have over your habits, the more control you have over your life. When you master discipline, you're no longer at the mercy of your emotions. You don't have to feel motivated to take action. You just do it. You don't have to rely on willpower. You have systems in place. You don't let distractions, laziness, or procrastination dictate your future. You take control of it. Most people wake up every day and do whatever feels easiest. They hit snooze, they eat whatever's convenient, they push their goals to tomorrow, and they wonder why life feels so chaotic, why they never seem to get ahead. They're trapped, not by outside forces, but by their own lack of discipline. But the ones who train themselves, the ones who build strong habits, they are the ones who truly live. Because when you have the discipline to wake up early, you gain more time in your day. When you have the discipline to work out, you gain energy and confidence in your body. When you have the discipline to control your finances, you gain the ability to live life on your own terms. When you have the discipline to master your mind, you gain the ability to stay calm under pressure and make powerful decisions. Discipline isn't about restriction. It's about expansion. It's about creating a life where you are in charge, where you are the master, where you are not a slave to bad habits, emotions, or circumstances. Think about an athlete training every day. To most people, it looks hard, it looks exhausting, but when game time comes, when the lights are on and the competition is fierce, that discipline gives them an advantage. It allows them to perform at a level others can't. Think about an entrepreneur who wakes up early, studies, builds and invests while others sleep. It looks like sacrifice, but that discipline is what eventually gives them financial freedom, the ability to travel the world, spend time with family, and never worry about money again. Discipline creates freedom. But here's the secret. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. You don't wake up one day and suddenly have ironclad habits. You train yourself. You start with small commitments. You hold yourself accountable, and over time, it becomes second nature. At first, it's uncomfortable. Waking up early is hard. Sticking to a routine feels unnatural. Choosing long-term success over short-term pleasure isn't easy, but the more you do it, the more it becomes who you are. And when discipline becomes your identity, freedom becomes your reality. You won't have to force yourself to do the right things. It will be automatic. You won't have to struggle to stay consistent. It will be effortless. You won't have to wonder if you'll succeed. You will, because success is built into your habits. Most people chase freedom thinking they can find it without structure. But real freedom is not given. It is earned. Earned through daily habits, through self-mastery, through unwavering commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. And when you embrace that, when you commit to discipline, when you refuse to let excuses control your life, then you unlock a level of freedom that most people will never experience. You want freedom? Then earn it. You want success? Then demand it from yourself every single day. You want to break free from mediocrity, from the endless cycle of excuses, of wasted time, of I'll start tomorrow. Then start now, because the truth is nobody is coming to save you. Nobody's going to wake you up at 5 a.m. Nobody's going to force you to work on your goals. Nobody is going to make you put down the distractions, stop the bad habits, or push through the tough days. That's on you. The champions of this world, the legends, the ones who rise above the rest, they are not different from you. They don't have some magic gift. They weren't handed discipline at birth. They built it, step by step, day by day. When others slept, they worked. When others made excuses, they found a way. When others quit, they pushed harder. Muhammad Ali once said, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. That's the mindset of greatness. The mindset of those who refuse to let temporary discomfort stand in the way of their future. You see, pain is temporary. Fatigue is temporary. Frustration is temporary. But regret, that lasts forever. You do not want to wake up one day, years from now, and realize you could have been great, that you could have had the life you wanted, but you let distractions, laziness, and fear steal it from you. So I ask you, how bad do you really want it? Do you want it more than comfort, more than scrolling on your phone, more than meaningless entertainment, more than fitting in with people who don't even care about their own future? Because if you do, then it's time to step up. It's time to become the kind of person who earns success. The kind of person who doesn't need motivation because they have discipline. The kind of person who doesn't break under pressure because they have built themselves for this moment. Jocko Willink said, discipline equals freedom. And that's the truth most people will never understand. The more you take control of your habits, the more you take control of your time, the more you take control of your mind, the more freedom you gain. Because guess what? The world doesn't reward excuses. It doesn't reward, I'll do it tomorrow. It doesn't reward, I tried my best. It rewards results. So stop waiting. Stop doubting yourself. Stop looking for a shortcut. There isn't one. There never was. There's only the work. There's only the grind, the daily discipline, the relentless pursuit of something greater. And if you commit to that, if you refuse to let weakness win, if you push forward even when you don't feel like it, then nothing can stop you. You won't just change your habits. You won't just change your mindset. You'll change your life. And one day, when you're standing at the top, looking down at the path you climbed, you'll know it was all worth it. You'll know that every sacrifice, every early morning, every tough decision, every moment of discomfort, it all led you here. Because discipline isn't the enemy, it's the only way to freedom.